Well, howdy there, folks. James again from the Political Friar, coming at you with another update. Maybe, almost certainly not, the last update on the speaker's race. We had some more news today. Jim Jordan put the vote up at noon Eastern Time and promptly lost again. First vote, he lost 20 Republicans. Second vote, he lost 22 Republicans. The pressure campaign that he launched over the weekend failed. And the more we hear about this pressure campaign, the more remarkable it is for the vitriol and the nastiness and the threats that were given to fellow Republicans. It just doesn't sit well. And so we remember in that secret ballot that Jordan called after getting the nomination to be Speaker first, 55 Republicans said that they wouldn't vote for him on the floor. I think that's about right. Because the thing is, the one norm that Jim Jordan is relying on is the one that is most hypocritical from him. He says that Republicans have to hang together, else they'll hang separately. Well, that's exactly what Jim Jordan did to Steve Scalise. At least he participated in it. I know he was titularly loyal, but you better believe he was rooting people on to make sure that Steve Scalise didn't get it. And that just doesn't sit well. It doesn't sit well when, after advocating for the exact opposite, Republicans to not hang together on their nominee, now Jim Jordan wants them to. 3 days passed in between those, and the only other things that Republicans heard from Jim Jordan were calls from his buddy Sean Hannity asking, why are they not supporting Jim Jordan and what they think they're doing and why they're not putting America first. It's galling, and it's just transparently hypocritical, and it's frankly offensive. People don't make it to the U.S. Congress by being weak-kneed and noodle-spined. At least not all of them. Some do. That's a great way to get into Congress, I suppose. See one Matt Gaetz, but the folks like Steve Womack of Arkansas, he doesn't take well to threats. He doesn't take well to having paid robocalls to his office just to harass him into voting for Jim Jordan. It was an exhaustion strategy, and you know what? These House Republicans weren't going to be tempted to go along with it, to do what they wanted them to do. There's some rumors that out there that there is a much larger block than just the 22 Republicans who voted against Jim Jordan, who are opposed to his becoming speaker, and they are strategically deploying themselves. So it's no accident that it was 20 on the first one and 22 on the second one. It'd be 24 if they keep in arithmetic, fashion. Maybe they'll up the ante and make it 26. But there are more anti-Jim Jordan votes than you see, and they are strategically deploying them to destroy Jim Jordan's chances of being speaker. So I'm going to say it: he's not going to be speaker. It's just not going to happen. Doesn't matter how many phone calls Trump makes. Doesn't matter how many phone calls the right-wing media influencers make. Doesn't matter how many robocalls get bought. I mean, who buys robocalls to harass your fellow Republican? That's not free. If you want to know what Donald Trump thinks about anything in Congress, just ask Troy Nels. He seems to be a bit of a meat puppet for Donald Trump's words. He said to reporters that while he's willing to stick with Jordan as Trump's first choice, he also was open to the idea of potentially empowering McHenry as some temporary speaker while things work out. That's a big crack in Jim Jordan's primary appeal. His primary appeal to Republicans is that he's Trump's choice. Well, Trump, the loyal dude that he is, demonstrated that he's not loyal. That you are a tool in Trump's world, and as soon as the Jim Jordan tool stopped working, he got tossed aside. Somebody like Mario Diaz-Balart of Miami, Florida, says, Jim Jordan's just never going to be speaker. He would know. He's been a congressman for 24 years. It's just not going to happen, guys. And Jim Jordan, he's probably going to call another vote, but He's also going to recede into the background. Now, what happens next is a real question, and one I don't know the answer to. Probably McHenry gets elevated short term under some kind of deal to kick the can down the road. It might be accompanied with a continuing resolution or something supporting Israel. That something supporting Israel may also support Ukraine. The, the Republicans who are against supporting Ukraine will be put in a real tough position if the bill that gets put in front of them has both. Are they really going to vote against Israel because they want to vote against Ukraine? Well, that's more for later days, but we'll see. Anyway, it's just my thought. Go ahead and tell me how wrong I am down in the comments below. Do hit that like and the subscribe button. It really helps people get views on this channel. I appreciate you. Thanks.